Right, this is take 2. My first one didn't record properly on constraints for MS Project. What are constraints? Well, you'll notice I've added the 2 columns here in the entry table. Constraint type, as soon as possible, is the default. Constraint date, it doesn't put the date in when you have the default constraint. But now watch this. If we were to go to my project and set the project, all tasks going forward, to be scheduled from project finish date, watch here, and I were to insert a task here, let's insert a task there, and that task, notice, as late as possible. That task, let's say, check implementation, and I've got that at 1 day, and it is as late as possible. It is now scheduled by project end date. Okay, I'm going to take that back to project start date, but it will keep that one at as late as possible because it was during the time that my project was scheduled at end date, not start date. Right, now there are other constraints. Let's have a look. Let's add another one. Let's call the check implementation. So let's go double check implementation. All right, and that's 1 day. Now, so I've got 1 day check implementation, double check implementation. This is as soon as possible, that is as late as possible. But if I were to, what date is that running? 27 November 2023. So if I were to change that to a specific constraint, let's show you the different constraints here. They are must finish on, must start on, start no earlier than, start no later than, and there are others as well. So let's go back here. If I double click on this one and we say under advanced, must start no later than 20, what was it, 23 November, I think. No, 28 November, that one is 28 November. So let's go back to November here. Okay, and we'll put it on 28 and okay. Now notice this is a red constraint. It'll go red, you see that, that's a red constraint. Let's go to create, try and create a blue constraint. 27 November, double click here and advanced as late as possible. Let's say finish no earlier than, and we'll make that 27 November and okay. This is also, let's see, no, it's a blue constraint. Notice that's a blue constraint, a red constraint. All right, so it's also made some alterations to the schedule. How do I remove all constraints? I select all tasks, I go to task, I go to information, and I go to advanced, and I set the default, which is as soon as possible, and they are gone. Notice they are now gone, and it's rescheduled itself.